Hello crafty friends, it's Jess from jesscrafts.com, and today I have another Halloween card for you. Gerda Steiner Designs has released this new adorable ghost kitty this weekend, and I'm going to show you how I make a card with it. I'm going to be using some C1 and C3 Copic markers to color the ghost. You could leave it white because a ghost is white, but I think by adding the grays in the C3 and the C1, you add dimension and you add the shadows that actually would show up in a white object, and so it makes it look more interesting than leaving it plain white. And actually, the eyes I am going to leave plain white, and because the sheet around it has the gray and the dimension, it makes the eyes pop even more. So I took C3 to add the darkest shadows, C1 to blend it out, and then finally the colorless blender to blend things completely out. The colorless blender isn't typically used for blending, but I find when I'm using the low number of C's, the C1s or the W1s, it can help a little bit to blend out areas that are supposed to be white. And now I'm going to move on to coloring the rest of the kitty. A lot of times I like to color cats gray, but I like to also keep in consideration all the things that are going to be going on around them. Or I thought for Halloween a black cat might be cute, but then to put it right next to the other thing that was colored with grays, it might not stand out as much, so I thought that a brown colored cat would pop against the white ghost costume. And so I'm using E35 and E37. I'm only using two colors because all of the areas that I am blending in are very small, and so you wouldn't really be worth the effort of using three colors. So I just add the E35, or sorry, the E37 where I want the shadows to be, like where the ghost costume meets his ears or meets his body, and then I blend it out with the 35. Because he has a striped tail though, I need to add a slightly different color combination for the opposite stripes, and I'm also going to use the same color combination for the inside of his ears, which is just going to be a lighter brown combo of E33 and E31. And so I'm just adding a little bit of detail there at the bottom where the extra hair is, and then blending it out, and doing the same thing on the tail using the E33 first and then the 31 to blend it out. Generally, I find in small spaces, starting with the darker color and moving to the lighter color is enough detail. So now I've fussy cut the cat and colored in his little Halloween treat basket. You see that when I fussy cut him, I cut right through the treat bucket so that I could cut out the inside detail of the treat bucket. And that's a good tip, that if you cut along one of the lines in the stamp, you won't really see it in the end, but it can help you with your fussy cutting and allow you to get in those little in detail spaces. So now I want to create a little scene around this this ghost cat. And I found this cute border strip that has little gravestones on it, so I'm going to make a little graveyard scene for the kitty cat. It was trick-or-treating night. And the graveyard, the little tombstones, they say silly things, and so even though I guess it could be considered a little bit more spooky, it's still kept it pretty cute, and most of the people that I'm sending cards to aren't actually children, so I don't think any of them will be off-put by that. And now I'm doing some blending with distress inks in the background to create the scene, and I want to hold true to what's happening in that border where there's purple at the top and green at the bottom. So I tried to pick distress inks that will go well and so that it will make sense in the scene. I'm using Mowed lawn to create the grass, and I just rub some on. I'm also using Seedless preserves and black soot to create the sky. You can see that I'm mixing the two colors quite a bit, and when I'm doing this I am rubbing the blender over it or dabbing and twisting. Either way works. With these new smaller distress tools, the distress ink blends really, really easily, and so you don't have to worry too much about your method. In order to add the gravestones, I want to start with the ones that go in the back first, so as they would be farther away and covered up by the front ones, and then I'll layer on the front ones. So I'm just peeling off the adhesive backing, layering them on, being sure to offset them so they don't look exactly the same. It would have been ideal if there was more variation in them, but I just wanted to make sure that I was using up some of my old Halloween supplies, including this border here. And so you see then I just turned the element over and trimmed it off. You don't have to run it through your die cut machine again. Flipping it over is always an easy trick. And so now I'm ready to assemble the rest of the card. I've already decided on this black paper with these colored stars for the background because it helps pull in some of the colors that I'm using. It pulls in the green and the purple from the sky, but also because it's black provides a nice contrast to what's going on with the ghost, and the ghost is white, so he'll pop off of all the darker colors. And I've used a little bit of an orange paper in the background too to pull in the orange from the little treat bucket, and now I'm just finishing it off with a little knot of ribbon that pulls in the green. This will be laying on the same part of the card as the green grass, and so it will continue that element straight across the card and lead your eye. And so when you look at the card, you'll be drawn to the ghost, and your eye will stay in that area because the colors pull in through the same. And after I adhere it the way that I like it, and I've wrapped it around so that I can play with it easily. If you had taped the ends down, you're kind of stuck with where the bow winds up or the knot ends up. I have decided that I'm going to use a corner, We Are Memory Keepers corner chomper to create little decorative corners with the deco punch from We Are Memory Keepers. And you can see the detail when I place it back on the card base. And then I'm going to adhere the scene with some pop dots and add the bats, which will tie in the bats from the orange paper. And that'll be it for my card today. I hope you enjoyed. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're interested in seeing more videos about Halloween or other card making, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. I'm going to leave some links to these products below, including this new image from Gerda Steiner Designs. Have a great day. Bye.